Hello everybody, it's me Nate, back with another DCS video. Today I have the DCS Hawk. Just came out on Steam the other day. I know it's been available on DCS website for a while now, but I like having all my planes in one big platform, so I only got it when it came on Steam. I have skipped the startup tutorial because it's actually incredibly easy and I won't assault anyone's intelligence. If you need a startup tutorial, just use the in-game one. It takes like 2 minutes to learn. Has about, I don't know, maybe a dozen switches. It takes about 2 minutes to start up. So I'll just go straight into the air-to-air combat video because this is probably the harder one and the one everyone has difficulty with. If you look on the forums, there's a lot of people having problems. I'll keep the game paused and I'll let you know what we need to do. First thing we need to do is actually put a key in by clicking this center key hole there, and a key will go in, and then you switch the key to the right using your right click, and then this will flick over to here. It's a very complicated master arm switch. There's a shortcut key called MASS. You see the MASS switch. It's quite annoying. But once we get that unlocked, then we can power the weapons here. So we can power up the gun there. You power up the pylon left and right there. And these will obviously go green as power is actually fed into the missile. Once we get power fed into the missile, we can arm it on this station here, which is the missile command panel. Anyone who's familiar with Sidewinder operations will know the coolant and scan function. To give you brief information to the coolant scan function, the Sidewinder warhead actually needs to be cooled to give it a lower temperature and increase its scan ability. And obviously scan picks up the weapons, picks up the heat signature. There is a Sidewinder tone, which you would have heard in any movie, like Top Gun or dogfight movies, but it makes a really annoying growling sound, and yeah, that's the volume switch for it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work at the moment, so the light will light up. Now, there is another Hawk behind me somewhere. I might use the F5 key later on. Yeah, there it is to my right. There is a bit of warning. The missile doesn't actually arm for about 3 minutes, so you need to cool the warhead for 3 minutes before the warhead will launch. So you'll have to watch me chase down this other Hawk before I launch the missiles. And I do warn you now, I think these are B variant Sidewinders, so they are not particularly good at off-bore or good turning, so you'll really need to be on the tail of this other guy for it to launch. So let's see if we can hit this other guy. So let me just quickly unpause. Right, so put the key in there, you see the key, click switches to the unlock function, and then actually click the unlock to live. So once that's alive, you'll get a HUD icon there. And then you power up the gun, so bam, gun's powered up now. Power up the pylons, so left, right, there's power to left and right pylons. Over here, we've got the control switch for the missile controls. Coolant being fed to the missile. Missiles on scan mode. Let's turn the growling up anyways. Even though it doesn't work, we'll turn it up anyways. Now we did push this AAM switch to select, and then you can select the missile this way. So right now it's got the port weapon selected. Let me lean over there, port. So we've got 3 minutes. So let's go on the tail of this other Hawk. I should also point out to you that right now you have to map your keys. Because I think the default there is no key to launch, so remember to go to your weapons function to map your keys. Where did they go? I'm just gonna cheat over there. Ooh, he's pretty close. There he is. Now the Hawk is actually incredibly agile, but unlike the MiG-21, which I love, and the F-15, which I do not love, there is no angle of attack indicator on the HUD, nor a I can't remember what the F-15 has. The F-15 has a beeper that lets you know what kind of angle of attack you're pulling. So you kind of have to visually judge if you're pulling too tight and look at your altimeter and visually check outside if you're descending. Because if you pull too much in this plane, you'll start to descend. As you can see now, we're descending. So put a bit more rudder in there, coordinate that turn. I haven't quite worked out what the optimal turn rate is for this aircraft, but just basically trying to be easy on the stick, not to pull hard. The AI is pulling very hard on the stick. You can see because he is still descending in the descending turn. He's pulling really hard. Oh, almost blacked out there for a second. Let go on the stick a little bit. Ease up. While the missile's being cooled down, some basic aeronautics. The tighter you turn, the more power you need. Because the tighter you turn, the more G's you're pulling, the more thrust you need. And it's ended up in a bit of a vicious cycle. The F-16 does this beautifully by actually having a G configuration for the joystick. So while in this plane, the harder you pull, the better turn. The F-16 actually has if you pull a certain way, it pulls 1G. If you pull a maximum, if you pull the stick fully back, it just pulls 9G. It's fly-by-wire. It's very clever stuff. This plane is very old-fashioned, so it does not have such a system. So you have to gauge manually if you're pulling too hard or not. Oh, I've lost the other guy now. Oh, he's right below my nose. Ah, there he is. Now, if I push the weapon trigger now, which I am, no launch, because the missile's still being cooled. So once we get in this tail, we're going to have to tail him for 3 minutes at least before we can get a missile launch. Nope. Trying not to descend too hard here. We are getting on his tail slowly. Which is, I mean, now this is, but that information there, which is the don't pull too hard. I mean, in the MiG-21, there's a HUD indicator, an angle tight indicator near the HUD, which is 20 degrees. You never pull above that, because as soon as you pull above that, you're in a bit of a negative spiral, as I've discussed earlier. So that would never have in the sights. We could pull the gun. I do warn you, the gun has an extreme limited amount of ammo. It probably gives you maybe a good four bursts of maybe 8 seconds of ammo around. Sorry, about that, 8 seconds of ammunition, if that. Let's see if I can get a good burst on this guy. He's too far. I wouldn't bother with it. The other thing, of course, is that I'm not sure what these Sidewinders will do, but some Sidewinders, like the GAR-8 from the F-86, will lock onto the sun, which is a pretty good Sidewinder defense. If you are actually forced to defend yourself from Sidewinders, go low, because the ground radiation will shield you a little bit from the Sidewinders, and will go from the sun. So now we have him here. Good burst. That was a terrible burst. He's going to slam to the ground if he's not careful. Let's see if we can lead it. I forgot. There you go, Sidewinder launch. Now you can see he just went straight forward. So cut the power back. The other Sidewinder's not ready. But I mean, see, it does take a while, so we got it off in the end. Just gonna gun him down. Oh no! God, that's awful. Let's try the other Sidewinder. So you can see on the left, actually, there's a little green light going on the left. That's a Sidewinder picking up the target. So in lieu of the sound, there is a little light switch. So let's try that again. There we go. That's tracking him. That's tracking him good. I'm losing too much. And I lost it. Yeah, so these Sidewinders don't actually turn well. I think they're B models. They're not that great. The F-15 probably has, I think, C, M, or L models even. So, not the best. I'll see if I can get this guy down. If not, I'll cut the video short, because that's all you really need to know. I think I'll give you some other tutorials at some point, bomb switches, but they're all very similar. They're all done from the selector switch in the bottom left there. So RP is rocket pods, PB is practice bombs, and B is actual bombs. Very simple aircraft, very lovely to fly. Very simple, which I quite like. So I get a good... I thought I might have got some hits there, but I guess not. Turning very tight now. Good. I think I got some hits in there, but not serious enough, obviously. Ah, well. Anyways, that was abysmal. I think my cannon will almost be out of ammunition by now. So, let's see if I can quickly finish him off. Ah, okay, there he is. He's gone. He's off. I'll just demonstrate to you how much ammunition I have left, just to show off how limited ammo this thing has. There we go. That's out. That's my trigger out. So yeah, about 8 seconds of ammunition. So dogfighting with this thing, you got to be careful. I mean, you see the pods very tiny. So maximum, I think, is 4 Sidewinders. Yeah, so that's it, actually. That's the employment of Sidewinders for the DCS Hawk. Until next time, see you guys.